Alright guys, welcome back to Underground Science, and in this video we'll be looking at one of the glial cells of the central nervous system, and they're going to be called oligodendrocytes. Alright, and so let's go and get started. So the oligodendrocytes of our central nervous system, so again let's go and make sure that, or let's just go ahead and write down that we're talking about neurons in the central nervous system, all right? So not the peripheral nervous system, the central nervous system. So let's go and keep that in mind while we do this, or while we talk about these oligodendrocytes. All right, so let's first to talk about it, let's just go ahead and draw our neuron structure, all right? So we have to draw a neuron pretty much. So let's go and do that real quick. So we have our soma right there, so make sure to go check out my basic structures of our neuron video, right? So we're more familiar with this. So, and then we have our nucleus. Just go and draw some DNA going here, right? And then we have our mitochondria, right? Let's just go and draw our mitochondria just to save time. Let's go and draw our cristae. And next, let's go and draw our dendrites, right? Tree-like branches that receive signals from the outside, either from another neuron or some pain receptor or something like that, right? So we're going to have tree-like branches. Let me just go and speed this up real quick. All right, didn't really get any faster. Sorry about that. All right, so let's just go draw that much. And then we said that in our basic structures video, we said we have another structure about right there, not drawn to scale. That's going to be our, let me go and label this first, dendrites. And then we have our axon hillock, right? We have our axon hillock, or also called our trigger zone. And then moving on, we went ahead and said that then we have our axon, all right? I'm going to draw that a little straighter, at least try to, right? Then we have our axon, and let me go ahead and not color this in just because we're going to talk about oligodendrocytes, right? And then we have our synapse, or axon terminal, and then our synapse, right? So let me go and draw that out. All right, so this is all we pretty much need to draw out to understand oligodendrocytes, all right? Oligodendrocytes, couldn't speak there. Okay, so this is our axon. Let's go and label that in orange, all right? And we know that, you know what, let's just go and label the other parts too, just because. Okay, so this is our axon terminal, right? Because it's our axon is now ended over here. So it's going to be our axon terminal, and then we're going to have our just synapse, all right, right here. We're going to synapse onto another neuron or another target cell. Okay, so what oligodendrocytes are is that they're glial cells, all right? So pretty much glial cells are cells in the nervous system that can help us, especially if we're talking about the central nervous system, right? We've made 4 different videos. This is our 4th different video for the 4 main glial cells, right? That help in immune response, right? So keeping our brain cells safe. They help in myelin production that we'll see in this video. Our glial cells help in regulating cerebrospinal fluid, right? And we also have glial cells in our central nervous system that help us with the blood-brain barrier, right? And other things also, but those are the main things that we've seen in our video so far for glial cells of the central nervous system, right? But in this video, we're going to be talking about oligodendrocytes. So remember, in the basic structure of a neuron video, we said that if we're talking about a neuron that's in the central nervous system, and if we're talking about a neuron that's myelinated, right, that's part of the white matter. So again, we'll make a video about white matter versus gray matter in the central nervous system, right? And so if we're talking about white matter, if you actually, in some textbooks or if you go and do some research, right, and again, we'll talk about white matter versus gray matter in another video, but white matter is pretty much classified as long myelinated axons, and gray matter is classified as bunch of cell bodies with dendrites, all right? And so, and we'll talk about it more again, but just know that, all right? So far, so right now we're going to be drawing our white matter because we see myelin on them, all right? But white matter is usually not classified as having dendrites, all right? So we just drew these dendrites just to show the structures, all right? But in reality, we know that it's the gray matter that's classified as having dendrites, okay? So as we're drawing our white matter, or as we're drawing our myelin sheets here, we just don't have these myelin sheets just chilling around, okay? Because we have glial cells that produce this in the central nervous system. Those glial cells are kind of star-shaped, all right? Kind of, okay? So what we're going to draw is, these are called oligodendrocytes. And what they can do is that they can latch on, right? They can latch on to multiple sites of one neuron's axon and to other sites or to other parts of an axon in another neuron. So they can like go beast mode and go both ways, all right? So if we had, just to save time, right, if we quickly drew another neuron here with its dendrites, right? So if we quickly drew somehow, right, another neuron with its dendrites, right here, let's say those were the dendrites, and then we had our, let's see, we have our axon hillock, and then our axon, right, and then our axon terminal, okay, and if we saw here, if we had myelin here, then that very same oligodendrocyte could actually be help producing myelin, could help produce myelin for this neuron too, that I'm coloring in right now, right? So it could also latch on to this neuron and produce myelin for that neuron's part of the axon, right? That part of the axon for this neuron and this part. So oligodendrocytes can actually latch onto multiple neurons in multiple places of the axon and provide separate myelin sheets for a specific place. And we'll see how this is different in Schwann cells in the peripheral nervous system, which are also responsible for producing myelin for the peripheral nerves of our body, all right? Because the Schwann cells can't do this. They're going to be separately on whatever section they produce myelin on, all right? So, and we'll see that in the future video, all right? So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. All right, so let me just go and finish drawing our second neuron here. All right, so we have our mitochondria and our cristae. Okay, so that's the basic idea of oligodendrocytes, is that, so let's go and write that down. So this right here, right, let's go and write this down, is the topic of the video. All right, so this is an oligodendrocyte. All right, and we said that oligodendrocytes can again latch onto multiple different places on multiple different axons in multiple neurons, right? So here we drew two neurons just to show it. All right, see how it latches on different places, that both of the neurons, and produces myelin. And we didn't even label that, sorry about that. So this is myelin. All right, I think we didn't label it, yeah. So this is myelin, and myelin is made up of mostly lipids, all right, which are just fats, and a little protein. So we're just gonna say and protein, all right, but mostly lipids. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's what I want to get through this video, just talk about oligodendrocytes of the central nervous system. I really hope this video made sense to you guys. I hope to see you guys in my future videos where I'll talk about more cool topics about biochem, and physics. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, like, and subscribe. See you guys later, and stay safe.